slides, so you have me as the big picture. Any questions before we start? Okay, no. I'm gonna mute you then. All right. Coming into a seated position. Okay, so I would like you to be sitting on something. Sometime in a seated position, you need something a little bit more lifted off the ground. A block would be useful there, but a firm pillow or blanket folded up will be just as good. And sitting on the ground, I know many of you have heard my little spiel about sitting on the ground. So if you're on a block, it's slightly different, but if you're on a towel or a pillow, whatever you do with your legs is fine. But what I'd like you to do is inch your sit bones right to the edge of whatever it is you're sitting on, and that rocks your pelvis forward just a little bit, okay? And that becomes more of a neutral pelvis so that your spine can lift out of that pelvis in a sort of more buoyant manner. And then it allows you to stay in this upright position instead of coming into this sort of slouched, tucked tail position. So it just forces that pelvis to anteriorly tilt a bit so that you can sit nice and tall out of the spine, okay? And if you're on a block, you don't necessarily have to inch to the edge because there is enough lift to be able to anchor your sit bones down into the block, okay? And if you're super comfortable sitting on the floor without anything, you're just anchoring those sit bones straight down into the ground, sitting nice and tall out of the spine. And once you're situated, close your eyes. Let your hands rest gently on your knees. And take this moment to arrive on your mat. Part of yoga is cultivating presence and mindfulness. And we do that from the very beginning of class. And there's lots of ways to do it. You can become more aware of your body. So becoming more aware of what's touching the ground underneath you, your sit bones rooting your lower body into the ground, maybe your feet, maybe part of your shin, depending on your seated position, is touching the ground, creating that rooted sensation on the lower half. And then in your upper half, from the waist up, with a neutral spine, start to feel just sort of that lightness, sort of that buoyancy of the upper half. So grounded through the lower half, buoyant and light through the upper half. Now bring your palms and slowly rub them back and forth on your thigh. So this too just sort of begins to bring us our sort of mind into our body as we rub our hands back and forth on the thigh, becoming more aware of the sensation there, maybe the warming of our palms and our thighs, the feeling either of your pants or your skin underneath your palms, creating some friction. Just using this rubbing of the thighs back and forth with the palms to help anchor your mind in your body. Becoming aware of how your body feels, the sensations that are arising out of the hand and thigh movement. And then let your hands come to stillness right on your knees. And just sit with the stillness for a moment. Become aware of maybe how your palms feel as they've stilled. Maybe there's a little bit of tingling sensation. And your thighs, now that your palms are no longer rubbing back and forth on them, perhaps they're starting to feel cool again after you've heated them up. With your eyes closed, bring your drishti, your internal gazing point, to your third eye, right between your eyes. And now begin to deepen your breath and take a number of breaths to deepen it slowly each time, pulling in more air, a little bit more air each time, and then expelling more air each time. So really investigating the depths of your lungs, but also the ability to fill up. Maintain that nice full breath throughout your practice today. And allow that breath to just help guide you and pace you in your movements as we flow through our class today. Blink open your eyes very slightly and slowly. Interlace your hands and then push the palms out in front of you, pausing here, rounding the back a little bit as you push those palms forward, stretching out the palms and the fingers and the shoulders. Bend at the elbow, bring them back into your chest, and now up. So palms up, whether your arms go to straight or not, it doesn't matter. Pull in the belly a little bit so that there's no arching here. Maybe look up to see your hands. And then bending at the elbow, bringing the hands back down to your chest, letting go of the interlace, and then interlacing back behind you. And then allowing those knuckles to push down to the ground. All right, pull the belly in. So again, this isn't so much of a back bend, it's more of a chest opening, maybe a little bit of a bicep stretch. Pull the shoulders down the back, and then make some circles, just small circles with the head, and then switch the directions, maintaining that stretch of the knuckles down towards the ground behind you. And then settling your head into center, bend your elbows. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see, and bring your interlaced hands to your right hip. So your right hand is kind of pinning your left hand to your right hip. Okay. So maintaining that. If that's at all like uncomfortable in the shoulder, you can let go and just let that left hand come to the ground next to you. Inhale, exhale, bend the right ear towards the right shoulder. Pausing here. So actively pushing that right ear to the right shoulder, and then actively pulling the left shoulder away from the neck. And then again, doing little half circles here, so rounding down with the chin, bringing that stretch to the back of the neck, and then rounding up with the chin, maybe bringing that stretch a little bit more to the front, really push that jaw, that chin up, get the jaw stretch. And then you can experiment and move through that range of motion, pausing anywhere that feels particularly good. Listening to your body, maintaining those nice full breaths. A couple more breaths here as we either move or find stillness in a stretch. And then coming to center with your right ear tilted to the right shoulder, and then come back up to center. Let's switch sides with the knuckles. Again, if this is too much on the right shoulder, you can take that right hand and just put it next to you. And then left ear tilts to left shoulder, pausing here. So actively pushing that left ear towards the left shoulder, but then also the right shoulder pulling down and away. And then again, just as before, rounding the chin down. Kind of feeling how that changes the stretch. And then rounding the chin up and seeing how that changes the stretch. And then moving between that range of motion of chin down and up, or pausing anywhere where it feels particularly nice and good. And then try to stay upright with the spine. So I just found myself kind of leaning a little bit. Try to stay upright. It's just that the left ear tilted to the left shoulder. 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then settling with the left ear right at the center, tilted to the left shoulder, and then back up to center. Release the hands, bring the hands to the knees, and just some seated cat-cows. So exhaling, rounding the chin, rounding the back, tucking the tail. Inhale, broaden the chest, push the sit bones behind you, look up. Exhale, inhale. 1 more of each. Exhale, inhale. And then settling with that nice neutral spine. Inhale, sweep your arms up and over, look up, watch them connect. Exhale, down through heart center. Good. Inhale again. Keep going. We've got 5 more. Use your own breath. Use this to help your breath guide your movements. Two more. Last one, we'll meet hands at heart center. Pausing here. Okay, eagle arms. Bring your right arm underneath your left arm, okay? And either backs of the hands together. If this feels like too much, actually, you can also bring your hands to your opposite shoulders. Give yourself a little hug here. Good. I was just gonna say a chair is totally fine if you'd like to have a chair, seated position. Okay, so you're either here, or maybe you can get the full wrap, palms come together. So you investigate what's doable for you. Now, I want you to really start to bring your attention to your back. So this arm variation pulls the shoulder blades away from the spine, okay? Now, I want you to combat that just a little bit and pull the shoulder blades together just a little bit. So now you're keeping that nice broad chest. It's almost like you're pulling your arm bones into your shoulder socket. Now see if you can raise your forearms so that you're gazing right through them. Pull the belly in and sit nice and tall through the crown of the head. Couple nice full big breaths. Inhaling to the top, exhaling to the bottom. Slowly release that hand variation, hands to the knees, and just a couple cat-cows or whatever feels good. You can do some shoulder rolls, so make it your own. And settling on a neutral spine, other side. So left arm now underneath. You can decide where you want to go here, either backs of the hands together, palm of the hands together, or if either one of those feels like too much, just give yourself a little hug with the elbows lifted. Okay. Now again, bring your attention to your shoulder blades and how they're being pulled away from the spine. I want you to combat that a little bit. Pull the shoulder blades together a little bit as you broaden the chest, and then raise the forearms so that you're looking right through them. Pull the belly in and sit tall through the crown of the head. And use those nice big breaths here. And slowly unwind, hands to the knees, cat-cows, shoulder rolls, whatever's calling to you here. Settling with a neutral spine. Inhale the arms up. Leave them there. Let the right hand come down to the mat to the right of you. Exhale as you lean to the right. That right hand can be a little kickstand. If you're on a chair, you can just rest it on the edge of the chair. Really reaching over. I want you to keep both sit bones anchored, so don't let that left sit bone pop up. And then keep that chest up more than down. Couple breaths here, really using those big breaths and feeling the inhale here. Maybe getting a little more reach on the exhale. And slowly bringing yourself back up to center. Take that right hand, put it right behind your hip. Inhale, look up, reach up. And then exhale, twisting to the right, bringing your left hand on the outside of your right knee. Keep that chest proud and open. I lost my words there. Pull the shoulders down the back. And twist from the belly button here. And then again, we want to use our core muscles to hold this stretch so you can kind of see, if I let go of my knee with my hand, can I keep this stretch? Can I keep this twist? So we want to use our musculature and not necessarily the leverage on that knee. Last couple breaths, maybe you complete the twist with the turning of the head, so you're looking over the right shoulder. Nice and tall through the crown of the head, shoulders pulled down the back, twisting from the belly. I want everybody to meet me on the exhale as you twist a little bit more. All the air comes out. On your inhale, slowly untwist. Arms reach and sweep above you. Exhale down through heart center. Okay, we're going to do that on the other side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Drop the left arm now to the side. And as you exhale, side stretch. Again, that left hand can inch out. Keep that belly in. Right sit bone is anchored to the ground. Chest is more up than down. Feeling that separation of rib cage and hip bone here. Mindful and breathing full. Inhale yourself up to center. Reposition that left hand just behind the left hip. Inhale, look up, reach that right arm up. Exhale as you twist to the left, bringing that right hand to the outside of that left knee. Pull those shoulders down the back as you rotate to the left. So every inhale, I want you to think long through the crown of the head, so nice long spine. Each exhale, maybe you get a little bit more twist. And then again, you can kind of see how you're doing by lifting both hands off the ground in your knee. See if you can maintain that twist without the hands. And then on the last couple breaths, maybe you complete this twist by looking over the left shoulder. Okay, I want everybody to meet me at the bottom of their exhale. So all your air out as you twist maybe just a little bit more. And then inhale, unwind, sweep the arms up, watch them connect, exhale down through heart center. Okay, strap if you've got it. Okay, if you don't, you can kind of use your shirt that you're wearing. So it's not, a deal breaker if you don't have something. We're gonna do cow-faced arms, which we've done before. So if you've done them, you should be familiar with me. Okay, you're gonna drape your strap over your right shoulder, okay? And then your left hand is gonna reach back behind you and find that strap. So now your left hand is got the strap, okay? And then bring the right arm up, bend at the elbow, and see if you can grab that strap. So this strap is really just making your arms a little bit longer. And then if you can inch your hands towards each other on the strap. Now here, I want you to make sure your belly stays in. So try not to get into this sort of hyperextension in the low back. Keep that belly in. And then as much as you can, pull that shoulder back, or that right elbow back. And then make sure your head, oftentimes people get into this position and their head juts forward. Make sure your head is right over your shoulders and your shoulders are right over your hips. Couple of nice full big breaths here. Complete fill up and complete emptying. One more just like that. Actively pushing that elbow back behind you. And slowly releasing your arms out of that. And then switching your strap to the other side. So now it's over my left shoulder. And we're just going to go right into the left side. So bringing that right hand back behind the back, grabbing the strap, binding it, and then bringing that left arm up, bending at the elbow, and bring that hand down to the strap. So finding the strap, and then maybe inching your hands towards each other. Pull that low belly in, and then actively push that left elbow back. And then again, nice full breaths. Make sure your head isn't jutting forward. And slowly releasing the hands, putting the strap off to the side. And we are going to come into tabletop position. So whatever you're sitting on, you can remove. If you need a little extra padding underneath your knees, please add it. Okay. Tabletop position. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Okay, I want you to find some structure here by pulling in the low belly. Okay, so you protect the back from sagging by pulling in that low belly, and then pull the shoulders down the back. I want you just to hold this structure for a little bit. Couple breaths. So the belly's pulled in, shoulders are down the back. There's some engagement through the trunk of the body here. Nice big inhale, and on your exhale, cat, round the back. Push the ground away from you. Tuck the tail and chin. Inhale, sag the belly, look up, broaden the chest, push the tailbone back. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Two more. After your second one, find that neutral spine. Make sure that left hand is right underneath the left shoulder. Bring the right hand back behind the head. And then as much as you can, pull that elbow away from the ground. Exhale, bring your right elbow towards your left wrist. It's probably not going to touch, just that rotation quality there. And then inhale, open up that elbow so it starts to point up. Maybe turn and look up. Exhale, bring the elbow towards that left arm, wherever it reaches is fine. Inhale, back up, really reaching that elbow towards the sky. Your range of motion there won't be a ton. This is really concentrating on the T-spine. Exhale as you pull that elbow in. Inhale, this time on your inhale, open up the arm, reach it up, look up, and then exhale, we're gonna thread the needle, and I'll do it towards you. Thread the needle underneath your left arm. Left your arm, shoulder, temple, come down to the ground. As you reach your right arm to the left, reach your right hip to the right. Nice big breaths. On your next inhale, really push through that left hand. Inhale and reach that arm back up, reaching up, looking up. And then exhale, bring your hand to the mat. Okay, other side. Okay, so make sure your right hand is right underneath your right shoulder. Bring your left hand to the back of the head. Actively push that left elbow up. Pull the belly in for structure. Exhale, bring the elbow towards the right arm. Inhale, elbow to the sky. Exhale. Oh, I got a couple pops. That felt good. Exhale here. Inhale up. We're going to do that one more time with the elbow. Exhale. Inhale. One more exhale, elbow to right arm. And then inhale, you're going to extend that arm up, look up, reach up. And now exhale, thread the needle underneath your right arm, shoulder, temple. Come down to the mat as your left arm reaches towards the right, your left hip reaches to the left. Couple of nice deep breaths here. And then pushing firmly through that right hand, inhaling up with that hand, looking up, and then exhale, plant the hand. Okay, tuck the toes, lift the knees and hips, and then baby step your feet towards your hands. Bend your knees as much as you need. In fact, a very generous bend in the knees, finding ragdoll. So in ragdoll, bending your knees so much that your belly and your chest can lay down on your thighs. Let your head be heavy. Now, if you feel more comfortable with your hands lightly on the ground, great. There are other options for your arms. You can grab opposite elbows. You can also grab behind your knees and grab opposite elbows. You can also interlace behind your back and let your hands fall forward. So experiment there with hand placement. Find something that works and feels nourishing in your body. Give your head a little shaking out, yes and no. Now, if your hands are off the mat, let them drape back down to the mat. On your inhale, you're going to lift and lengthen the spine. Bring your hands to your shins. Really pull that head forward, push the sit bones back. Exhale, fold. We're going to do that again. Inhale, lift and lengthen, hands to the shin. Exhale, tone the low belly as you fold and let the head be heavy. One more time like that. Inhale. Exhale. This time on your inhale, bend through the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up, stand up, reach your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands through heart center. Pausing here for a moment. We're going to run through some modified sun salutations just to really fully warm up the body and all of our joints. Feel free to add or subtract any of it, okay? All right, inhale, sweep the arms up and over. Exhale, dive forward with a flat back. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, lift and lengthen, hands to the shin. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over, extended mountain pose. Exhale, dive forward all the way through, center forward, long back, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen, hands to the shin, pull the shoulders down the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, extended mountain pose. We're going to do that one more time. Exhale, dive forward, flat back, bend your knees. Inhale, lift and lengthen, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up and over. Exhale, hands through heart center and pause. All right, Surya Namaskara A with some modifications. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, dive forward, bend the knees. Inhale, lift and lengthen, hands to the shin. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, drop the knees, find that nice long spine. Slowly lower yourself on your exhale to the ground. Inhale, cobra. Lift the chest, anchor the feet. Exhale, push through tabletop, tuck the toes, and walk the feet up. Okay, so find that ragdoll position here. A little space between the feet. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over. Exhale through heart center and pause. Okay, we're going to do that twice more. Here we go. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, dive forward, flat back, bend the knees. Inhale, lift and lengthen, hands to the shins. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. You can choose to lower or not with the knees. Exhale, lower yourself all the way to the mat controllably. Inhale, cobra, lift the chest, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, push yourself up through tabletop, tuck the toes, and walk yourself forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, hands through heart center. One more time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, lower the knees or don't. Shift the weight forward and lower all the way to the ground. Inhale, cobra, squeeze the glutes, lift the chest. Exhale, come through all fours, pausing here. Now, I want you to take either a child's pose here, just a resting pose. If child's pose feels really difficult for you, you can try a puppy dog pose where your hips are a lot higher and your head is on the ground. Okay, or you can just find a seated position. Just find somewhere where you can be for a moment as we let our sun salutations settle in our body. Find those nice full breaths we've been working on throughout class. And wherever you are, finding tabletop once again. All right, making sure you're set up nice and aligned. So hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Stretch the right leg out with the toes on the ground. Okay, so my right toes are on the ground. Now I'm going to open up my hips and ground my heel. Okay, so now my hips are open and my heel is grounded to the ground. If you want to stay here, if this feels like your limit, stay here. Otherwise, bringing that right hand up, coming into kind of a modified side plank. You can stay here, or you can take that right arm, bring the bicep towards the right ear. What I want you to think about is a nice long spine through the crown of the head, all the way down to that right heel. Pull the belly in, shoulders down the back. If you're reaching your right arm up overhead, bring it back up to a T and bring it down to the ground, coming back onto the right toes as you square your hips to the ground. Okay, now I want you to lift that leg. All right, nice strong flex in the right foot so those toes are being pulled towards the shin. Pull the belly in just like we worked before in tabletop. Pull the shoulders down the back. Stay here or add the left arm, reaching it forward into bird dog. Shoulders down the back. Stay here or round the back, bring the elbow to the knee. Your balance might be a little wobbly. That's okay. That's good. And bring it out long. Twice more if you're doing knee to elbow. Otherwise, you're really holding your positioning. You've done your third one, reaching it out long, find it, pull it in, and release the left hand if you've got it up Try to keep that right foot up and swing it out to the side. Probably know where I'm going. Plant the foot on the ground, right out to the right. Straight leg, little bend is okay. Now, we're gonna stay here for just a moment. Take that right hip and push it down towards the left knee. So you're stretching your inner thigh here. And we're gonna stay in stillness. Sometimes we do a dynamic stretch here, but we're just gonna kind of stay here, actively pushing our right hip towards our left knee, keeping the belly in and the shoulders down our back. Make sure that belly's pulled in, bend through that right foot, and however it makes sense for you, bringing that right foot to the outside of the right hand, okay? So now I'm in this half kneeling position with my feet on the ground. I'm gonna pull my right hip back and my left hip forward, pull my belly in, and come upright with my torso, okay? Now, if you're really feeling wobbly, make sure you've got a little bit of space between the back knee and the right foot, okay? Put your hands on your hip and create the action of squaring the hips to the front of the mat. So right hip pulls back a little bit, left hip pushes forward, tailbone pushes down, stretches down to the ground, pull the belly in. Inhale the arms up and grab the left wrist with the right hand. And as you exhale, lean to the right. So a little bit of a side stretch. All right, we did this in a seated position. Keep that belly in. As your hands reach to the right, your hip reaches to the left. Slowly come back up to center. Let go of the hands, but keep them up. On your exhale, open up your arms to the right into a T. So you're kind of revolving here. And then inhale, back up. We're gonna do that twice more. Exhale, open up to the right. Inhale, back up. One more. Exhale, we're gonna pause here. You can stay here or revolved, twisted. Okay, so you're gonna bring that right hand back towards that left thigh and reach back overhead. Keep the belly in, push the hips forward. Coming back up center, finding that T. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to the mat. On the inside of that right foot, you might need to heel toe the right foot out. Okay, now inhale the right arm up. Up to the sky. Exhale, bring the elbow towards the instep of the right foot. Wherever it reaches, just that direction. Inhale, up. Exhale, elbow to instep. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, elbow to instep. Pausing here, putting both hands on the ground underneath your shoulders, and then really pushing your hips forward just a little bit. You're getting a real big groin stretch here. And then letting the hips come back over that back knee, and then heel toeing that foot out wide so that you can pull in the belly and return that knee to tabletop position. Okay, again, I want you to find a resting pose. It could be a child's pose. It can be a puppy dog pose. And if neither of those work, you can simply come to a seated position for about 5 breaths. So as you breathe here, maybe just sort of take inventory and feel how one side might feel a little bit different. We've only done the right side. And remembering being in this moment, being in your body, being okay with whatever your edge is. So being okay with the fact that maybe you can't do all those things that I just ran through on the right side, and that's okay. All right, coming back into tabletop from whatever position you're in. All right, left leg extends long out. And then drop the left heel and open up the hip. Okay, sorry. Open up the hip. And then if you want to stay here or open up that left arm towards the sky. So pull the shoulders down the back, pull the belly in. And if you'd like to bring that bicep towards the left ear, think of a nice long spine through the heel, all the way from the heel to the crown of the head. If you're reaching overhead, bring it back up to a T, ground the left hand, and square the hips up to the ground. Okay, make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders, pull the low belly in, and lift that back leg. Left leg is now up off the ground. Pull that left glute in, belly's pulling in. Stay here, or lift that right arm, bringing the bicep to the ear. Shoulders down the back, belly pulled in, just like we worked in tabletop. Stay here, or exhale, round the back, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Twice more if you're doing the knee to elbows. Last one. Lengthen out, hold. That left leg high. Let the right hand ground. Open up that left leg, pull the belly in, and then see if you can get all the way out to the side before you ground that left sole of the foot on the ground. Okay, so now we're just going after that groin stretch. Push that right hip down to the left knee. Breathe here. Find some structure, pulling the shoulders down the back and the belly pulled in as you push that left hip towards the right knee. All right, now we're transitioning to that half kneeling position. So however that works for you, you might need to bend the knee and heel toe yourself in. You might be able to pick it up and lift it and put it right next to that left hand. Before you come up, square the hip. So left hip pulls back, right hip pulls forward. Pull the belly in to give yourself structure and support to come into your half kneeling position. Okay. Excuse me. Left hip pulls back, right hip pushes forward. Belly in, tailbone down. Sweep your arms up. Pause here, grab the right wrist with the left hand. Exhale as you lean to the left. You know how much lean is really up to you. Keep that belly in. And as you lean to the left with your hands, your right hip pushes out to the right. Slowly come back to center, let go of the wrist. This time, as you exhale, inhale together. Inhale, exhale, you're gonna open up to the right, your hands are gonna open to a T, and your hips will open. Inhale, back up. Exhale, open up. Inhale, back up. Now let's switch hands. Left hand's gonna sweep back. Right is gonna stay forward. There we go. That's the right way. Good. Inhale up, exhale, open. We're gonna do one more just like this. Inhale, exhale, pausing here, and then maybe coming into that reversed, revolved lunge. So reaching back with that right hand as your hips push forward, pull the belly in, and then sweep both hands up. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Heel toe that left foot out so that your left hand can be on the inside. Inhale, the left arm up. And then exhale, elbow to instep. Again, inhale up. Exhale, elbow to instep. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Good. Planting the hands and pushing the hips forward here, finding that groin stretch. So both hands are underneath the shoulders. Shoulders are down the back. Now you're shifting your hips forward as much as you might be able to do. And then shifting the hips all the way back over that back knee. Heel toeing, however it makes sense for you. Pull in the belly and bring that knee back. Tabletop position. One more time, finding sort of a resting position for you. So child's pose, puppy dog. It could even be downward facing dog or just seated for a moment. Now that we've done both sides, kind of checking in with your body, how you might feel. And just sort of being okay with what you can and can't do. I shouldn't say can't do, you can't do it yet, right? All right, coming up into a tabletop position, you're gonna tuck all 10 of your toes underneath. I want you to reach back and get your pinky toes to tuck under. Those pinky toes don't like to quite get on the mat. And then slowly sink your hips back onto your heels. See if you can come up all the way to seated. This can be an intense stretch on the footbed, okay, and the toes. If you're here and you're able to be in this position without taking any weight on your hands, interlace your hands and push them forward. Good, just a few more breaths. I know it's intense. Bring it back in and lift them up. Woo-wee. Feeling my big toe right now. Keep the belly in. Come back down. One more, interlace behind you. Stretch your knuckles back. Broaden the chest. We're almost there. All right. Letting go of the interlace. Coming forward to all fours. And now tapping out those feet a little bit on the mat. It's a little bit of a release there for the toes and feet. Good. All right, we're going to come into a seated position. So let your hips sink to your heels, then off to the side, and swing your feet out in front of you. I'm going to face you guys. Okay. All right, right sole of the foot, left inner thigh. Sit nice and tall. Actively push your right knee to the ground. Bring in some activation to your left leg. So it's not just flopping there. You've got your toes up and your kneecap up the leg. You're able to sit nice and tall. Inhale up with the arms. And then exhale, forward fold over that left leg. I want you to keep a long spine. So each inhale, long spine. Exhale, maybe you fold a little bit more. Inhale. Exhale. Prioritizing that long spine, each inhale, lengthening, maybe coming out of your fold, and then exhaling, folding back in. A couple more breaths like that. And on your next exhale, if you'd like to round through the spine, let the head grow heavy, forehead and chin, and nose come closer to the leg. Actively pushing that right knee down and keeping some activation in the left leg. And slowly rolling yourself back upright. Bringing the right sole of the foot to the ground and then crossing it over your left leg. Okay. Bring your right hand right behind your right hip. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, twist to the right as you grab your right knee to the chest. So a little bit of a twist here. If you find that you don't need that right hand behind you, you can do a double arm hug around that right knee. Really kind of finding that stretch through the right hip. And slowly unwinding, let both legs come out long and switching sides. So now left sole of the foot, inner right thigh. Sit nice and tall, sit bones are anchored to the ground, left knee is pushing down, activation through the right leg, inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold over the right leg. Again, each inhale, long spine. Each exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Couple more breaths just like that. Keep the activation in that right leg. Left knee pulled to the ground. Next exhale, if you'd like to round through the back, let the head be heavy. And slowly rolling yourself upright, left sole of the foot to the ground, cross it over the right leg, left hand comes behind the left hip, inhale, right arm up, exhale, twist to the left, grabbing that knee, pulling it into the chest, and then if you don't need that left hand behind you, bringing it in for a double hug. So nice and long through the crown of the head. Try not to get into this sort of rounded position. So actively pushing your belly button and your chest into that knee and thigh. Shoulders down the back. Keep some activation through that right leg, but it's extended long. Couple more nice big breaths here. And slowly unwinding, both legs long. Bounce out the knees just a little bit. And now rolling down one vertebrae at a time to your back. Bring your feet as wide as the mat and let your knees fall into the middle to rest on each other just for a moment, just to allow the body to transition into this supine position. Still staying connected to those full breaths, helping those breaths move through your body as we flow. All right, bringing your feet together about hip width and bring your right knee in towards the chest and then slide it over to the right so that you're pulling it more towards the outer rib cage. Now this left leg can stay bent, or you can experiment with stretching it. So again, this is going to be a little bit of a groin stretch. If it feels like too much, having that leg bent is fine. So pulling that right knee in to the outer edge of that rib cage. Letting go of that knee a little bit, coming into a half happy baby. So think about the sole of your foot up to the ceiling. Either grab the edge of your foot, maybe you can grab the ankle, maybe you've got the calf, wherever you can grab your leg or foot is great. And then actively pushing down on your leg or foot so that your knee continues to push down to the outer edge of the right rib cage. Keep that left hip anchored and the low belly pulled in. And we're going to release that right foot and bring the right sole of the foot to the inner left thigh. So kind of like what we were doing in a seated position, but now we're in a supine position. So this would also be a tree pose done in a single leg balance. And then inhale your arms up overhead. If your elbows need to bend, that's fine. Try not to let your low back arch way off the ground. So pull the belly in towards the spine so you begin to flatten the low back just a little bit to the mat. Nice full breath. And bring your hands back, stretched out towards your side. You can bring your right hand to the outer right knee, help it move into the center. Both legs bend. Bring the left knee in now, and then shift it to the left of the rib cage and pull it more towards the armpits. And then either keep that right leg bent or stretch it out long. Try not to hold tension in the jaw or the shoulders here, but keeping some activation in that right leg as you pull the left knee in. Releasing that left leg a little bit, coming into that half happy baby on the other side. So again, whatever you can grab, if it's your shin or your ankle, great. You can get all the way to the outer edge of that foot, awesome. Whatever works. And then actively pulling down on your leg or foot so that your knee continues to push towards the armpit on the outside of the left ribs. Keeping that right hip anchored, keeping some structure and toning through the right leg. Release the shoulders. Let that foot go or the leg go, bringing the left sole of the foot now to the inner right thigh. So finding that tree position. And then again, a little toning through the belly. So belly button pulls in so that the low back doesn't arch off the back. And inhale your arms up overhead. Pausing here, a little toning through that belly so that you're not overarching through the back. Maintain your nice full breath. Bring the arms back down by the sides. You have a choice here for your last shape before Shavasana. You can go for happy baby, right, which we did half on either side. Or you can do Supta Baddha Konasana, where you bring your soles of your feet together, let your knees fall out wide. So choose one of those. Take a few moments to let go of your breath control and allow this last shape or asana to be a transition into Shavasana, our final resting pose. You can start to shut down the eyes, loosen the jaw, create some space between your upper and lower jaw, letting your tongue rest on the top of your mouth. And when you're ready, you'll extend one leg at a time, taking up as much room on the mat as you like, letting your feet fall out wide. Hands rest wherever feels comforting for you. Letting your head be heavy. Shoulders melt into the ground. Belly is soft. Hips let go. Releasing the legs and the feet. Shutting the eyes. Letting your natural breathing rhythm take over. And as much as you relax in Shavasana, you're still maintaining that presence, that cultivation of presence. So you're not checking out. You're still here on your mat. And you're just allowing your body to succumb to stillness. Slowly bringing yourself back up to the surface, knowing that if you would like to stay in Shavasana longer, you can. And if you're ready, deepening your breath just a little bit at a time, inviting some movement into the body, wiggling the toes and fingers, maybe circling out the wrists and ankles and turning the head. And then maybe a full body stretch as you inhale and push your belly button up to the ceiling as if you're waking up for the first time today. And then slowly transitioning, feeling free to stay on your side for a moment before coming into a comfortable seated position. And that comfortable seated position can certainly be on a chair. And take the time to put any props underneath you that you might like so that you can be in that nice, comfortable seated position. And once you're there, shut down the eyes. And bring your hands to heart center. Lift your chest, nice proud chest to meet the thumbs. Give yourself a little smile, real or fake. Produces the same effects if you hold it long enough. Just in honor of your practice today and sharing, our energy with each other. Even though we're not together in the same space, we certainly share our energy as we breathe and flow together. I'm grateful for your presence. I'm grateful for seeing your faces and for showing up for class today, for yourself and for each other and for me. The highest light in me sees, honors, and respects the highest light in each of you. Namaste.